last time we went over a few non-negotiables of during the interview, right? So today I thought we try and cover the pre-interview time. How do you prepare for your interview? Now that's surely a very wide spectrum. So I'm going to try and shed some light over one element out of the pre-interview time. How well do you know your own application? Okay, so let's get started. So when I say that how well do you know your own application, I mean that you should be mindful about the fact that you have already let the committee know about your stories and perspectives and your thought process, your experiences through the answers that you've penned, the documents that you've penned answers for the school, right? So there are multiple angles to this. Now, but before I get into that, let me just also say this very like in bold and loud and clear that this is not to say that your interview answers should be a recital of your CV where you recount your clinical experiences, where you recount, in bullet points, 1, 2, 3, I did this and I did this and so on. This is not to say that, your whole interview process should be a repetition of your CV. Definitely not. But just that you should be aware that the mind behind the written answers of your application and the mind behind the spoken answers in your interview are the same, you. So that sort of alignment has to be there between both your application and your interview answers. All right. So going back to what we were talking about, the multiple angles, I think we'll go document wise for this, right? Sort of run through your application. So first would definitely be a statement of purpose. Statement of purpose. A lot of our applicants come back to us and ask us. There are these experiences that I've shared in my statement of purpose. But is it okay to talk about it in the interview? Is it okay to sort of initiate a conversation about it? I think their concern or their worries, especially when their stories are either intense or maybe sad or upsetting. So they feel like if this conversation comes up, then it'll be uncomfortable, and should I do it? Now the answer definitely is a yes. Right, especially if it is clear from your statement that these happenings and the learnings from these happenings have a very foundational impact in your life, and why not? Definitely you should talk about it, and if the question demands it, of course, talk about it and let them know what you have in mind or how that sort of steered your way in your life into the person you are now, because that shows that you came through adversities, you overcame problems, or you whatever happened in your life, all said and done, this is the person you are now, and this is your dream, and this is how you want to move forward. So give yourself the space and the freedom to be open, be vulnerable, and also be fierce through that. And anyway, the US admissions committee is looking for you to be yourself and to be vulnerable and say your story. Now, next would be CV. So this is specifically for schools that have profile-based questions and take a good look at your CV and ask you questions from your CV, right? Especially from your CV. So in these cases, especially, just make sure you've gone through the CV to see what have you written there, have an idea about your experiences, your volunteer experience, your clinical experience, when you do your internship, what is the timeline. So have an understanding about it, and make sure that you're aware of what has gone into the document that you've given to them as your CV. The last one would definitely be, I think, what would have the most importance is your supplemental application. This is something that I think is overlooked when it comes to interviews, and that is a no-go. Do not do that. Definitely go through your supplemental application. The reason being, these answers that you've given to the school is the sole window that they have to understand how your values and how your focus and your priorities align to the school, right? So you've already told them how it works for you or how your perspectives go along with the school. So to have that same sort of sentiments in your answer would make a lot of sense. For example, certain schools ask about failures, right? What is the one time that you failed in your life, and how did that shape you into the person that you are today, or how did that change the clinician that you are? Now, after having penned an answer that is very moving and that is absolutely transformed your life, when you walk into an interview and your interviewer asks you the same question, say, there's one time that you failed in the interview, it would not make sense for you to be totally thrown off by the question. Because especially why I use this example is because failure is a question that a lot of interviewees have a problem with, because they're not really sure how to confront that question, whether they should answer, have I failed? So especially when you're given this sort of an answer in the supplementary question to the school, it would always make more sense for you to actually have an answer with you. Like, not a fabricated answer, of course, but this question should lead you to that experience, right? Or at least any other experience that you've had in your life when it comes to that particular factor, in which, in this example, would be a failure. It's impossible and really not advisable to actually prepare for every answer word to word, end to end, because that is not how the interview should be going. It should be a conversation, it should be free flowing, and this way you'll be equipped to, encounter any answer, any question that is put forth. So the best approach would be for you to take the time to definitely practice, and also along with that, familiarize yourself with your application, and also have an idea as to what your experiences are. Gather your thoughts and gather your experiences, gather your stories, and the stories that you've given in your application, and bring them all to the forefront of your mind, so that whatever question is put forth to you, you can sort of read the question, map it to some incident in your head, and then start the answer. Right? So, as a conclusion, I would say that you should try and put this in three buckets, right? Have bucket 1, 2, 3, and the first one would be to gather your stories inside your application, and also have an awareness about your experiences and what you want to portray as part of your application and your interview. And the second bucket would be the school. What are the school's expectations and the vision, mission statement? What programs are they known for? Are they expecting something out of the candidate? And the third one would be where you sort of converge everything and synthesize the information so you can best align and best map your own stories. That's the first bucket, with what the school is looking for, the second bucket. This way, you're good to go. I know easier said than done, but the more you practice, the more you keep talking, the better it will come to you. Hope this helped you guys. And if you have any more queries, leave comments or ping us on our WhatsApp number, or ping us on our forum, and we'll get back to you. And if you like this, if you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you soon with another video. Bye.